This is 2 Echo Zero Bravo Mike Tango returning. Hello YouTube, so good to be with you again. My name's Ben, I'm 2 Echo Zero Bravo Mike Tango. 6 months ago today, I passed my foundation exam to become Mike 7 Bravo Mike Tango and to start my journey into amateur radio. And this video is just a short video to say these are the top 10 things that I wish I'd have known at the start 6 months ago rather than found out along the way. I wonder what your top 10 would be. Do comment in the comments section below and tell me what I've missed, what you wish you'd have known right at the start of your journey into amateur radio that you now know now, that you might be able to pass on to others who are coming up and passing their exams soon. Well, these are my top 10. Number 1, book in early for your test. Now, I know that might sound really simple, but it does give you something to work towards. When I booked in for my test, I was about ready to take it and then found out that I had a 3 or 4 month wait because there were so many other people wanting to get licensed. My advice is book in now. If you've got any hope that you might end up taking a test in the next 3 or 4 months, book in now, get a test examination date in the diary, and then you've got something to work towards. You'll be surprised at how easy it is to study once you've got a deadline in mind. Number 2, build community with your local repeater. There will be a repeater near you, a repeater that you can access where there will be a community of other like-minded amateur radio fans that you can talk to and learn from. Even before you're licensed, you can be listening into the conversations that go on the repeater, learning about the people and also about the hobby. My advice is get on your local repeater and use it at least 3, 4, 5 times a week. That way the people on there know you, they'll respect you, and when you need it, which you will, they'll help you. My local repeater, GB3SA, is an amazing resource. On there I've got a group of friends who support me in the hobby, help me out when I need it, and have been incredibly generous with their time, their expertise, even lending me equipment when I've needed it and offering me more equipment than I could ever want. They're a great resource, and I'm sure your local repeater will be the same too. So tune in, listen in, monitor it regularly, and then speak up as often as you can so that the repeater gets to know you and you get to know the community on that repeater. Number 3, do not underestimate a coax. Those of you who have been in ham radio for a long time will know that this stuff, RG58, is pretty hopeless. Right back when I was first licensed, I bought quite a few meters of this to get up to my antenna and set up other antennas, and I now realise, particularly for UHF and VHF, this stuff just doesn't cut it. By comparison, I recently upgraded to this. You can see it's thicker. This is called Ultraflex 10. It's about 4 times the price of this, but it is so much better. In fact, just by replacing my coax, I was able to reach about 20 to 30 miles further on the 10 watts of power I had. Now I've got my 2E0 call sign, can use 50 watts. I'm getting a lot further again. So do not underestimate your coax. Invest well. It might be one of the most expensive bits of equipment that you buy, but it can't be underestimated. Number 4, Hight is might. As someone who is 6'5" already, I should probably have realised that height is might, but in radio it is everything, particularly on UHF, VHF. I've got a great location here. Stamford is relatively flat, but my house is on a little bit of raised ground, and that makes all of the difference compared to other friends that I've got who are slightly lower down into the town. Height really is might. If you walk up your local bit of high ground with a handheld radio, you will be amazed at what you might be able to reach and work. Have a go, walk up your local hill, take a handheld with you and try it from there. Number 5, don't reach too wide to start off with. The hobby has got loads and loads of different attributes. Whether you get into DMR and digital modes, HF, UHF, VHF, microwaves, whether you go handheld, portable, SOTA activations, whether you have a base station or mobile antenna, whether you have something in the car or a lorry, whether you have a trailer with a whole mobile unit in, there is so much to get your head around, let alone looking at software-defined radio and computerized modes and FT8 and Whisper. The list goes on and on and on, and the temptation is to start dabbling in everything right away. Don't do that. Firstly, it's too much to take in. Secondly, you've got the rest of your life to enjoy this hobby. So go slowly. Don't reach too far too quickly. and instead master one or two bits of the hobby that you particularly enjoy before then moving on slowly but surely. Number 6, encourage others. Let's be honest, guys. Amateur radio is a very masculine hobby. I think in the 1,000 or so QSOs I've had in the last 6 months, I've only worked 2 women so far, and that's great. And it's a real benefit when you get through to someone with a slightly different voice. But let's be honest, part of being masculine is also being competitive. And within the amateur radio world, there can be such a attitude of competitiveness and discouraging one another. I remember once putting something on a Facebook group saying I was really pleased with a contact I made, only to be found to have about 60 comments from other people saying, well, I could have done better than that, mate. Not very encouraging. Encourage one another on your repeaters, in your Facebook groups, on YouTube. Encourage one another. Number 7, all that glitters on the internet is not gold. I recently invested in an unun to set up a random wire in my back garden. What I found was that I could buy all the bits and make an unun myself for about £10–15, but there was an unun on sale for £25 and it looked really, really good, so I decided to buy it. That which glittered on the internet turned out not to be gold. It came through, it had a short circuit in it. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to faff around working out why the SWR would jump from 1 to 1 right up to infinity and back down again in just a few milliseconds. I spent weeks trying to work out what was going on with this unun until I finally realized it had a short circuit inside. Often building things yourself can be the best way in amateur radio. All that glitters is not gold on the internet. Number 8, you can have great fun on a budget. I recently cut a bit of speaker wire to a 20-meter dipole, mounted it about 3 meters above ground level in my back garden and plugged in my FT817. Just 5 watts of power and managed to work Brazil. You don't have to have spent millions of pounds to be able to do that. Invest well in the equipment you want, have patience and enjoy using it. Number 9, do not avoid a contest. When I started out in amateur radio, I was totally paralyzed with fear when I heard a contest going on the band. I was concerned that I would get something wrong or do something that I shouldn't and therefore just change to a different band and ignored it. Don't avoid a contest. It's a great way to make lots of quick QSOs with people all around the world. Just read the rules, make sure you understand it, perhaps listen to someone who's working a lot of stations very quickly to hear exactly what it is they're saying and doing, and then just copy what you hear. Make sure you know the rules, what you've got to say and what isn't needed, and then work quickly through some contacts. It's a great way to work some contacts a long way away because people will want to listen for you. Number 10, persevere when things get hard. Quite often I can have a bit of a search around the bands, get so frustrated and just want to quit the whole hobby. Persevere. Persevere because it's worth it. You'll learn something along the way. And when it's all going wrong and you're not getting where you want to, perhaps you'll learn something that will help you for the long run. So don't give up. Keep going and persevere. Well, I wonder what I've missed that you would like to add. What are the things that you now know that you didn't know at the start that you think other people should know as well? Why not comment in the section just underneath? If you're enjoying my videos, do like and subscribe, and I look forward to catching you further down. I'm 2 Echo 0 Bravo Mike Tango, off and clear, 7-3. This is 2 Echo 0 Bravo Mike Tango returning.